everyone, and welcome to the Coon Rapids Sports Complex for CTN's coverage of high school tennis. It's a special night at the Bob Pivot Courts as the Cardinals host the Anoka Tornadoes. Joe Young, Howie Shapiro sidelines, along with the man himself, Bob Pivot. And Coach, it's good to have you aboard, and thanks for being with us.
Hey, it's so much fun for me to be back here. It really is. This is for sure special, and what could be more special than playing against Anoka and, watching the kids play. I mean, we spent so much time here, and having Coach Peterson drop by here, that was sure a treat. My goodness, this was special for sure.
And the weather certainly cooperated. Feels more like midsummer than mid-September. And Coon Rapids off to a great start at 13-2. Grace Hanula against Jersey McAlpine in the first singles match that we'll be watching here tonight. And I should mention Coach Pivot back for a special event tomorrow night when he will be inducted into the Coon Rapids High School Athletics Hall of Fame, the second class of the Hall of Fame, and couldn't think of anyone more deserving. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you so much. It was it was really a surprise, since I didn't even know we had a Hall of Fame. And so that was special, and there were a lot of special things that took place this whole process that I never could imagine.
Well, certainly it's an honor that you're on with us, and this is not the first time you've been on with CTN.
No,
this is your repeat performance, so we're very fortunate to have you back, and what a special weekend it is. And again, congratulations for being nominated, elected to the Hall of Fame, and it's a nice opportunity for you to come back here, be at the courts that are named after you, watching this, and then the ceremony tomorrow.
That's going to be really interesting, because you get 3 to 5 minutes to talk, and I've talked there a whole bunch of times, but whether I will be able to talk and not cry is going to be the toughest things. And my wife said she's not going to finish my speech if I start. So that's going to be, what could I could. It's really been interesting. My two daughters from Arizona, they flew up here to be, a part of this.
That's wonderful.
And so that was very special. When we were in Logan, Utah, they were on a conference call, and they said, "Dad, you're not getting a Father's Day present." And and that's okay. But she says, "You need to know we're coming to your big event." And so they flew up here. They got in town last night. So that's really neat.
Yeah, it's got to make you feel wonderful.
There was a lot of things about this whole process. Seeing Ken, I was really wondering if I should have Ken as a special guest, because we had been on the court so many times. We've played with each other. We've coached against each other so many times, and he was a coaching colleague that was, a very special to coach against, and so on. His teams were always prepared, and I hoped our teams were always prepared, and sometimes they won, and sometimes we won. That was how it took place,
McAlpine takes the first game here in set number 1. Hanula to serve. Coach, how many years?
I coached girls 29.
Wow.
Boys 31.
Wow. It's amazing. That's a great coaching career. And if you were to look at it and go back to when you first started coaching high school tennis, how do you think it's different from then until today? Or is it? It's got to be.
It is. I think, and I think Ken would agree with me, that when Ken and I both started coaching, we're kind of dinosaurs. But when we started coaching, Anoka Hennepin was definitely a leader in middle school and senior high sports in a lot of different areas. And the reason was kids did not have to pay to play. And so on these courts in the fall, when we had girls tennis, and in the spring when we had boys tennis, we had over 100 kids out here. And right now, I know Coach Storick sometimes has to really hustle to get kids, because it's very hard to tell somebody to try a sport that they haven't played when it costs a couple, $200-300 to play. And so I think that's the biggest difference that I see. That Ken, you and I, we had a huge advantages there, don't you think?
Yes. Well, we had fewer high schools in the district, which we had good talent pools, and then having to pay was
that's
really
the
changed
biggest
things,
thing. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So
We got some numbers.
what year did you start coaching? What year was it?
It would be the spring of 1970.
Oh.
Right, I was a year after you, and I retired a year after you.
Yeah.
I was 71 in 2004, right? Was
Yep.
the year 2003 you retired?
Yeah.
Year 2?
I'm not getting the complete years because I've been gone from coaching here for, I think I've been gone 17 years now.
My goodness.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
My goodness. That makes me feel like I've been doing this.
Well, you have.
You've been doing it a long time.
We've been doing
You
it
have.
22 years.
You've been doing it a long time.
This is number 23.
Yep.
Right.
It's amazing.
Well, I do have to I'm going to tell your people back in the studio, your equipment has improved significantly. This is the best chair I've been in, and I've done this a few times, and so,
With the passage of time, eventually the budget gets around to making us more comfortable.
there you go.
Yeah, but it took a while. It took
Well,
about
it
20
takes-
years.
It takes a while.
Yeah.
It takes a while to do anything.
Well, and you were talking about the numbers. One of the things that we were talking before the match, I think Coach Storick is such a wonderful leader for the tennis program and the tennis community in Coon Rapids. But one of the things that really, to me, brought that out was a couple, not this past spring, the spring before, when we had the April storm and had 30 inches of snow mid-April. He had 48 boys on the team and not one dropped off, even though they were out shoveling snow for a week. And he found extra coaches to make extra teams rather than turn anyone away. And to me, that means a lot for your program. You talk about the numbers. Numbers helps no matter what.
If you don't have numbers, you're never going to have any good players.
Right.
I know Ken and I were both blessed to have a bunch of really, really, really good players, and then we had some kids who learned the game because they were willing to come out, whether or not their friends came out. And that was a nice point.
That was a really nice point. Good net play.
For the Coon Rapids girl.
Yeah.
She played really nice. This is it.
Needed that win in her serve as well to even things up.
Right. This could be an interesting match. How I would watch this match would be the one who can make their opponent move the most. And right now, in that game, Coon Rapids girl had the Anoka girl coming in a little bit more and doing something. The Anoka girl really, really did a job trying to lob, and I thought she did a nice job there.
When you're coaching your squad, and do you have them, or does it depend on the situation? Do you have them attack the net quite often? Because we were always taught that way. If you can attack the net, and you've cut down the court if you have a good net game.
Well, here's the thing. If you're playing somebody like Ken, it's really hard to attack the net because Ken is so good from the baseline that you're putting yourself in a lot of difficulty if you're thinking you're going to out-hit him.
Right.
And so, it kind of depends. It just, I like that shot from the Coon Rapids girl, and she came in behind it. And
right.
So she moved the girl way back to the baseline, and I don't know if she knew. I knew that ball was going to be short, and so she moved in, and she constructed that point really nicely.
We were talking about numbers. One of the other things that I found over the years was specialization.
Oh.
We lost lots of really good athletes, hockey players, and that used to come out for tennis to either lacrosse or
Yep.
year-round hockey.
Sure.
And with the girls, year-round volleyball or whatever it might be. And that specialization hurt our depth and numbers. You'd have some good tennis players, but those second, third doubles players, good athletes who could come in and play without a lot of background and be competitive really dropped towards the end of our tenure.
That for sure was the case. There's no question about that.
Well, and that's kind of an interesting one because every coach you talk to and every physical trainer you talk to speaks about the importance of being a multi-sport athlete and being well balanced and not specializing, especially too early, but yet it still continues.
Yeah, I think that the parents, it's tough for the parents to get that message because all they hear is you've got to keep playing to stay at the top or wherever they are in their age level. And the other thing they just don't realize is this overuse, all the injuries and burnout with kids. You don't hear about that a lot because, but you see the stars and the kids are successful, but it's a lot of burnout and injuries from overuse.
Nice pickup.
Yeah.
No, oh, nice play.
This is a very good point.
That's a good. Oh, too bad.
Oh.
The interesting thing that Ken said there that I picked up on was the idea of if you play a lot of different sports, you're gonna develop different muscles and so on, and and you learn different things by playing different sports. You learn. I think it's good to be in a team sport. I think it's. I think, but you have to be out there by yourself too. I think that you learn something doing that, and athletics are really an interesting kind of thing. It's really fun to see how kids compete and what they try and do, and so that has been fun. And I think the one thing that when I look back and look at things, is that, when people were playing sports, I'm looking at like right now, like I know Bob Board's going to be in the program tomorrow night. One of his sons played for me, and I think he learned stuff, playing different things. I think that was good for him. Nice shot.
Yeah, nice in the corner.
That's nice. No, stay up.
Yeah.
Well, this is
Got a little over anxious on that one at the end.
Well, it's easy sitting here. We haven't Ken, have you missed Ken hasn't missed a shot.
I haven't
sitting
missed
back.
one since
And
08,
I haven't missed one sitting here.
Well, I hear Ken's really into pickleball, and I know that's becoming big.
That is very big. It's quite the sport. It's a good kind of dovetails in from my tennis background, and ended up instructing for the city of Coon Rapids this summer, when they opened the new courts over here at Riverwind Park. And it's a great community, a very social game, it's easy to learn, inexpensive, good exercise. It's kind of got it all.
How many courts are there at Riverwind?
There are 6 over at Riverwind.
Okay, that is good.
Mm-hmm.
That's
a good number, and they're full in the mornings. The weather's good. There were 40 people there today playing.
Oh my goodness!
So,
there you go.
So that's a good plug for Riverwind.
It is.
It is. It's great.
Right down the street here.
Right down the street.
Well, they revamped the park, so they have a nice full basketball court and a new playground, and they revamped the building so it's rentable for events like grad parties and other things people have. So they've really upgraded the park nicely.
Ken, do you know at your old house on whatever the street was, what was that called? Was that called Riverview? Where you lived across the street from the park?
Oh, that was a long time ago.
I know, but there's only one tennis court there now. Do you know that?
Oh, I didn't know that. No.
There's only one tennis court.
Coach,
there.
did you come back? As soon as you got back to Minnesota, you just had to circle around, see where they.
Went by your house, didn't you? Did you go by your house?
What's happening with the tennis courts in the neighborhood?
I did. Yep.
Well,
check the upkeep.
Well,
Sure.
I'll tell you this, you won't like. I used to have a tennis court in my backyard at my other house, and it got torn out by the owners a while ago. So it
really?
It was a sad day. I Facebooked all my former players, and they were very sad.
Well, now, Did a hockey player buy your house?
Bukestead bought our house.
And he took out the court?
No, Bukestead used it. He played
Okay,
tennis,
there you
and
go.
he
I
had it
know
as a roller rink. He rollerbladed on there.
Okay,
But the
really?
next owners, after he and his family moved,
Okay, all right.
took it out.
They didn't know the rich history of that court.
Okay.
They
was,
did not.
it was.
Which
They did
which
not.
Bukestead? The whole family?
Yeah,
Or-
Scott's whole family.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, Scott Bukestead.
Okay, that makes
The
sense.
hockey player, and he had a sister
He's-
too, I think.
Yeah, a couple
Yeah.
of nice athletes that
Yes.
came out of that house.
Yes, that's for sure.
Scott. I remember. I'm old enough to remember Scott playing, but Nick. Wow, was he a fun player?
Well, Scott
to
was the
watch.
uncle, and Nick was the one who lived in the house. So Scott was
okay.
the uncle, I think.
Okay.
I think so, but Nick lived in the house.
Oh,
yeah.
so all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he played a year or two for Blaine Tennis.
Okay.
Didn't
as a
one? I
sideline.
thought one of them
He
played
was-
at Irondale.
Nick was an impressive.
Scott played.
hockey
The
Yes.
uncle played it for Irondale. He's more, and he played
Okay.
in the '80s, I think, or something.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nick. I remember the first time we saw Nick Bukestead as I think a sophomore on the hockey rink, and he's a big kid.
Oh yeah.
Game was already too slow for him at the varsity level. Did the same at the University of Minnesota, and now still having a successful NHL career.
Right.
Yeah, I got to watch Reed Larson, pretty good hockey player in
He
my
was a
area.
tennis player as well.
Yeah.
Minneapolis
for,
Roosevelt.
Yep.
Yep.
And who was Larson's doubles partner? Ramsey.
Yeah, Ramsey, Mike Ramsey, and then
Yeah. Oh, really?
Wickland played singles, right? So,
Yeah.
Greg Wickland, that was
they,
quite
they,
the-
they had some pretty good players.
Yeah.
on
As
the team.
as we
the multi-athletes.
I was
yeah.
just gonna
There,
say,
yeah.
back to the benefits of
Yep.
multi-sport athletes.
Okay, I was telling Coach here that when I played high school tennis, I graduated in '75. If you remember, a guy by the name of Mark Naumacher was the #1
Yes,
player.
I know
singles
Mark,
player.
who Mark was, yes.
And he and I were graduated together, and so it was kind of fun. You talk about playing with a player who's got that kind of talent, just to watch him. I mean, I would watch him and marvel at what he would do.
So was Brennan a little older then?
Mike was a year older.
Okay, I
Yeah,
knew
so-
Mike well too.
Yeah, and so when Mike was a senior, we were juniors, so us
Okay.
have Mike Brennan as a senior, Mark Naumacher as a junior, pretty good tennis team.
That
to
was a
start
good team. I
Yep.
remember. Yeah, West was very good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kenny, don't you think when you go back and you look at the guys that you and I coached against, we think about, I think about Tom Vining and Bruce Getchell and
Wojciechowski.
Cheryl and Wojciechowski, how I think the guys who coached the long period of time, nice get.
Very nice. Oh, almost.
Almost got it. How they cared about it and how they worked at it, and we were there at least 5 guys in our conference that made the Coaches Hall of Fame.
Correct.
I mean,
Correct.
my daughter Katie, who's done some coaching in Arizona, she gets so frustrated, but she says, Dad, these people down here don't have the background and the work ethic that you and nice shot.
That's very good. There she closed off nicely. And
yeah.
Nice little cross-court volley.
So, she gets really frustrated at
Her fellow coaches, for the
at
most
her
part.
fellow coaches.
Yeah.
We coached a team there called Arizona College Prep. Arizona College Prep is a Chandler School District public high school. They wear uniforms there, but the idea of college prep tells you something. These kids, first, they're really smart. They, she had on one of her team uniforms, they had shirts that had the languages that were spoken in the home. 5 different languages spoken in the home. So anyway, but the cool thing was, we would go through and we would prepare, our kids, and we would tell them, you're going to play against some teams where you're going to have to tell them where to stand and what to do. And some of our kids were beginners too. And that happened every year that we coached. And our kids really, we were so happy with how they dealt with that situation. we told them, we said, you're going to be prepared to play. You may not have the talent to win, but you are going to be prepared to play. And they all believe that. And that was really, a very cool thing. This is an interesting game here because this is one that could give the Anoka girl a little bit of a lead.
Yeah, they've been very evenly matched.
Yeah.
A lot of long points. They have similar styles. The Coon Rapids girl comes to net a bit more often.
Right.
A little more aggressive.
And
She's had some opportunities to close off some points she's missed, but she.
And the Anoka girl lobs pretty well when she does come
Yeah.
in.
Well, Grace Henneman from Coon Rapids, pretty nice ground strokes
Hanula.
as well. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Hanula. Sorry.
I thought it just,
No, and I wrote down Henneman too. That's what.
There you go.
I've been doing this way too long,
There you
apparently.
go.
well, she's also, they're both seniors.
Right.
Henneman's just doesn't play
Doesn't
tennis.
play tennis. I know. Yeah, I get it.
She's probably at volleyball practice right now, as a matter of fact. Yes, Grace Hanula, a very good athlete, and she's a multi-sport athlete. The last of a pretty talented family of girls that have all come through and played both tennis and hockey. And at least two of the three, if not all three of them, played lacrosse as well.
Good get.
Yeah, I'm a bit impressed with her ground strokes, Grace Hanula. She does a nice job. I think she gets a lot of velocity on some, especially on her forehand. But you talk all the time, if you can break your opponent's serve, it's really gives you such a good advantage if you can come back and win service of your own.
Well, neither player able to break service yet, but some good volleys. We're only in the fourth game of set number one.
Yeah, this could be a long match.
This could be
very long, depending on if they stay mentally tough and conditioning too in a hot day like this.
Hot day like this.
Well, and as we talk about long games, my one piece of trivia, I was going to save it for a little
Smart
bit later,
There's the drop. Oh, nice get.
but as it fits so well into the conversation, I will ask all of you.
Oh,
how
nice
long-
rally.
How
That was
long
a
do you
nice
think the longest point ever played in tennis was in minutes?
In minutes?
Correct. You can guess shots too, I know that.
I remember back in Guillermo Villas and some of the others, and back then hearing some rallies that went over 100 shots. Oh, wait, I remember there was a women's match on clay somewhere, and I remember
Yep.
it lasted like 10 minutes, one rally, because there was
Yep.
people who went.
Big game.
People who went and there were people who went to the bathroom, took a bathroom break, and came back and watched. And they said,
They're
"Well,
still
what game
there.
is it?" They're still on the same point, or something. So there's some women's match I remember went. This one point went for minutes, 10, 15 minutes or something. But
And we've got a guess of 15 minutes.
Okay, I would have no for sure good answer to that, but I will tell you, a mini tennis rally that took place on this court, that is the record, and the record for the court, and it was with my daughter Katie. She holds the mini tennis record here, and the rule was we were playing in half a square, and the ball had to bounce in the service box. Okay, that one took, and we counted, it did take 20 minutes, and it was 420 shots.
Wow. So what's your guess? Do you think of the longest?
I'm saying the longest
saying it-
point.
yeah.
I'm saying 12 minutes.
12 minutes.
You have this answer. You better have the answer.
I don't have the. He has the
I
answer.
have the
you have
answer.
the answer.
I don't.
I'm going to go last.
I'm gonna go 18.
Okay, so I'm taking the over. I'll go 19.
The answer, and I don't know the source. It was just a fun fact of the day on the bulletin board at work. The longest point ever played, and they didn't tell us who or when. 29 minutes, 643 shots.
Huh.
Oh my!
Not even
God.
close.
That's why I took the over.
I looked at that, and it was leading up to today's event. And we only do one per season, and I was thinking that's a long time
That's
on
a
one
long
point.
time.
Yeah, it is a long time.
That is a long time. Well, I do remember a match that we played. And Ken, you played up at St. Cloud Apollo a bunch of times.
Oh yeah, St. Cloud tournament and at
Right,
Apollo.
right.
Yeah.
And we're playing against Apollo, and we had quite a good team. Apollo had a good team. I hit the ball down. I'd like to coach her, but anyway,
She's in great position.
she is. And Kathy Erickson is playing their number 2 player in a match that lasted 3 hours and 25 minutes.
Wow.
And it was decided a 5-3 tiebreaker in the third set. And I just remember how long that match went.
That's when we had the 7-point tiebreaker, huh?
Yeah, we had the 9-point. Well, that was
Or
9
9 point. You're right, 9
Yeah,
points.
that was a 9-point.
You had to win 5. That's right.
Was that with boys? Or
Boys and girls.
Girls, both. Okay.
Good shot.
Well, speaking of, I want to go back to pickleball just briefly to tell you how a small world it is. My tournament doubles partner in pickleball.
I know who it is.
Yes, you do. Who is it?
Jimmy Peden.
Jim Peden, former number 1 here at Coon Rapids, as
Wow.
well as his
Yeah.
older brother Dave, who
Yeah.
played before him. I've
Yeah.
actually played pickleball with Dave as well when he's visited. But
I'll bet you they're both really good.
oh yeah, Jimmy's become a really good friend. He married a Coon Rapids girl, Tony Niebauer. I
Yep.
believe, Tony, and she's a big player too. And so we're actually going out to Utah to play in a national senior tournament in mid-October. So we're looking forward to have a really good time.
And I do know that Utah is really big in pickleball.
Yes,
they really are.
Yeah, St. George, Utah, where we're playing, has like 3 big facilities of 12
Okay.
courts or something, and it's a big retirement community.
Yeah.
Should introduce our guest, Joe Yunhai Shapiro, sidelines for the match here between the Cardinals and the Tornadoes. We are watching for singles. Grace Hanula against Jersey McAlpine for Anoka, who currently leads 4-1. We're joined by Bob Pivick, the man the courts are named after, soon to be inducted into the second class of the Coon Rapids High School Hall of Fame. And Ken Peterson. And Ken, you coached where?
I coached Anoka High School boys for 33 years and coached the Blaine girls for 13 years and the Anoka girls for 4 years.
There you go.
So a lot of coaching
A lot of
experience
coaching here,
between
yes, a
the
lot of
two of the
coaching. Both
gentlemen.
have about 50 seasons, I'd say, Bob, roughly. Or
Right.
so, yeah.
Well, and the amazing tennis that you guys have coached over the years, and all the great athletes. What phenomenal memories.
Yeah, they're good memories. We were
Yeah.
very fortunate,
Yeah.
both of us, I think, with the quality young men and women.
You
We
know,
got to coach, and
I
the
think-
parents were always really great for me, and I'm sure with Bob, and that's what keeps you in the game. You get a coaching tradition. You look at all the successful programs around the state, and usually these coaches have been around a while.
Yep.
That get some kind of dynasties or whatever you want, like Mike Grant in Eden Prairie football. And by the way, Mike Grant was also a tennis coach at Forest Lake when we were coaching for a short time before he went over to Eden Prairie. And
That's a nice sketch.
so-
Come on, keep your rack.
it really helps the program when you can have continuity and people know what to
Nice
expect.
point.
That was good. There she
That
closed.
was a nice point. Hey, Ken, one of the
Great
thing-
point. She needed that game
Yep.
big.
She did, yes.
Makes it 4-2.
Yeah, it's only a one break. The 4-1 is just one break, so she can hold a break and be back in it here.
Ken, one of the interesting things that took place when you and I came in, we came in when there were only 2 schools in the district. And there was a bit of a rivalry between, I think I'm saying it soft there, aren't I, between Anoka and Coon Rapids? And, I'm saying it nicely then.
It was
But-
intense.
But the idea was, I don't know, I mean, for me, Anoka was like playing Irondale. I mean, I didn't know any of the tradition there. I don't know how it was for you, but, I don't think I got up into it when, the coaches in school would say how important this match was. I mean, I felt they were all important, and I never really got into the, I don't know, what do you want to say?
Well, it was one of our most important. I mean, Blaine came along pretty quickly.
Yeah.
What was it, mid-'70s into it. But, when I came in at Anoka, we had Bill Wanamaker and Stan
Yeah,
Nelson
right.
and Wayne Dietz and a
They
lot
were-
of the old guard there who made it very clear that the young upstart who came in here as a rookie coach that these are the traditions here, and these are the important ones, and beat Coon Rapids.
There you go.
Was part of it. So I got the
I know you got
message
that.
quick.
I never got that. I never got that.
You're kind of the new kids on the block. You've only been around about 5 years,
Right.
Coon Rapids. They opened in 65, 66,
Yeah.
right? So they were the young upstarts to Anoka.
So I got an update from my friend Scott Billy, who was listening and has access to his computer and Google. Google's a pretty amazing thing.
Yep.
Longest point was between Vicky Nelson and Gene Hepner. Total match time, 6 hours, 22 minutes.
Yikes.
Oh my goodness.
You better be in good shape
I
to
don't
play that
recognize
long.
either of those names.
No.
What year was it, did it say?
Well, he'll get back to
Ooh,
me in
that's
another
nice.
couple
Yeah,
minutes.
Scott, get back to us, please.
There you go.
It's good.
Another coach putting in his 2 cents.
Yep. You know, it's interesting. I think about when I played and the evolution of the racket itself.
Oh, yeah.
Is amazing, because I remember when I first started, I played with a Wilson T2000.
Yep, yeah,
And-
that's a familiar one.
Yeah, and I look at the rackets now, and they're so different, and they're so much
heavy.
lighter.
So
Yeah.
they're so heavy back then.
Yeah, and then I remember the big thing is you had to, when we went to wood rackets, you had to have catgut as for strings. And
I couldn't afford catgut.
I still have a racket with
see,
catgut.
But you were at Minneapolis West.
I was at
And so they
They could afford
So,
catgut.
yeah,
they
we-
could afford the
yeah,
catgut
we
over
did,
there.
we
Okay,
did.
there.
Yeah.
We had an exclusive with A&B Sports downtown Minneapolis.
Really?
So-
You didn't go to Twin City Tennis?
You didn't go to
No.
McDonald's?
No.
Really?
Goodness.
No,
That's just not right.
My first tennis instructor was I've got to remember if I know if the first name
Nice.
was
Great
Dave,
point.
Dave York.
Oh, Dave York.
Oh.
Yeah, he
wow.
was my first. He was my first tennis instructor.
Yes, I played tennis at the U with Dave.
Yep,
1984.
1984. Okay.
Oh,
Just
okay.
like that.
Just like that, he comes up with it.
Yep.
That is
Yeah.
good.
Big shout out to Scott Billy.
Well, technology, just think about, if you look at golf, how the technology of the ball and
Yep.
the clubs have improved. The same with tennis. Now, when Bob and I were coming up, you played, all the top players served and volleyed. They had grass and they served and volleyed. You don't see that much.
No.
That's a change-up tactic now. Now they just blast the crap out of the ball from the baseline.
I know.
I mean, it's incredible.
Oh yeah, it is amazing.
They're hitting those ground strokes 90 miles an hour sometimes.
Yes,
It's
yes.
just a whole different game with that technology. The
Right.
strings, the racket, the ball's the same. That hasn't changed, but
The
it's,
colors changed. Come on,
Yeah.
Kenny.
Well, okay.
There you go.
Used to always
I'll
be
grab
white.
that too.
Always white. The tennis balls. when
It
we grew up.
was.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
It was.
I had no idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
Better optics on the neon green.
Much better.
Oh, heaven yes. Do they, Ken, in pickle, do they have a softer ball yet that people are using or anything?
They have
to cut
the
down
balls
the
are
sound?
different. Well, we haven't had that problem. Some neighborhoods have tried to do that, but basically there's a brand of ball, Onyx, that are a little bit softer. And then there's balls like Dura and Franklin that are much harder shell.
Okay.
And most tournament plays with the harder shell ball,
Okay.
but they break a lot. So rec departments like the Onyx because they last longer. 'Cause,
Okay.
Each ball is $3, so
Okay.
that adds up. But so there's difference, just like golf balls, I guess you could say. Difference in
Okay.
balls.
Well, don't you have a pickleball endorsement?
No, I do not have a pickleball endorsement, but anybody listening, no.
He's available. Ken taught school, tennis. He when he did it from Blaine, Anoka back to Anoka, whoever paid him the biggest salary, he was ready to go.
I was ready to go. I
He
was a
re-
vagabond, yeah. Oh, sure, the same district was very similar.
I know. I know. Okay, so Ken, let's review this match in the first court. I think the Coon Rapids girl is missing her volleys at the net, and she comes to the net more. And
Yeah.
you said
Consistency is beating aggression right now.
Right, that is
I
it.
think the Coon Rapids girl has had her opportunities, and
Sure.
she had some nice cross-court volleys the last few games, but just the consistency factor is
okay.
wearing her down a little bit.
I
And
work-
that's high school tennis, really, pretty much.
I work with, I have one granddaughter that is playing a little more seriously than some of the granddaughters or kids in Arizona. And the interesting thing is we say to her, okay, Abby, if your racket is up by your shoulder when you're hitting the volley and it ends up down by your knees when you finish the volley, do you have any idea where the ball's going to go? Oh, Grandpa, it's going to go into the net. So I said, the net's there as a barrier, and it's really, That's a good. Oh, she
See, I
got
love that
racket
girl's
on the
aggressiveness
ball.
at the net and this doubles
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah.
I mean, she just stayed right there, and a lot of times, tennis players, both boys and girls, some are very passive doubles players,
Right.
just kind of stand in their spot like a tree stump. And I always tried to teach active doubles and make yourself known. And if you're at the net and the ball's gone by you 2 or 3 times, you're wrong. You haven't done anything to get right there.
There.
Right there's
Nice
a perfect
play.
example. That was a great poach, and
It was a good first
and
serve.
she's
Yeah.
and certain now the kids think about her.
Yeah.
They have to be more precise in their returns. They can worry about her. She's a distraction, and that's what you want. You
Okay.
want to be,
I'm going to ask
into
Ken
it.
a question.
We're gonna switch over to doubles in just
Okay.
a bit, but we on the first singles here. McAlpine an opportunity to win first set with service up 5-2.
Ken, did your teams, did you use signals a lot in doubles?
towards the end, about the last half, I started using signals more, and then I started using different formations, Australian and
Okay.
center crouch and stuff more, especially with the girls, to get them more into it, more active and make them
Right.
think, rather than just get in the same old routine. I told them they had to do something different at least once a game,
Okay.
either in their formation or
That's a-
signals, or once a game poach. Otherwise, it came like almost like a singles match for a while between the cross-court girls.
In our doubles, what we tried to have our kids to do, we never use signals. And then the reason we never used signals was because we weren't sure that our kids could get the ball in the right place on their serve. And so our, nice try. Our job was the net person is supposed to be moving to where the ball is on every serve. So we never did it. We never got smart enough to do that. Although we did use the formation with right and left hand.
Yeah.
And some people never figured out that they were playing against a left-hander after
Yeah.
they played for 2 hours.
Took a while to adjust that.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing we'd
There.
do is we'd say if one girl was just killing the returns every time, you took that cross-court return away just by doing Australian and make her hit a different return.
Yep.
Just by that, sometimes it really messed them up,
Well,
because they had a grooved cross-court but couldn't hit down the line.
Can you explain the term Australian to our viewers who aren't aware?
Are you on the doubles court yet? Or is your
Oh,
camera-
We
we'll
are.
talk about it when we go to
yeah,
the
when we go to
doubles.
doubles, we'll.
Okay.
We're on it now. Are we?
No,
on
we're
it?
still on
we're-
singles.
Okay, we're gonna. Okay,
as soon
got
as
it.
this set is over, we'll switch.
Okay,
We'll
got it.
switch to doubles.
It must be about deuce here now. I lost track of the score.
And don't feel bad. Joe and I do all the time.
Yeah. Well,
I lose track after the second point. The
That's
only
a-
time I ever know the score for sure is when the game is over and the
there
ball.
you go.
The girl made a really good pickup in doubles that our viewers couldn't see.
Got it. Ooh,
That's a nice play. Come on.
see, she's so consistent. Oh, she
Yeah.
got that.
Yeah.
Nice point.
Yeah, she took a little something off that volley, and
I mean, both girls are doing a good job of staying under control.
Yep.
I haven't seen many wild, big shots hitting the fence in the fly or overswinging. They're staying under control and getting a lot of balls back in play. I give them both credit for that.
When you talk about consistency, and consistency typically equals success with tennis. I mean, it's such a game where you have to stay even keel, and you talked also about not getting overly excited, hitting too hard. All those little things and the
Nice
move.
shot.
Nice get.
Oh,
See,
hit
she
it
got
on the
that in
court.
play. See, she made her miss. What a great get.
Oh.
And there was the first time I've seen the Coon Rapids girl took a wild swing rather than just popping that
Just-
back and making her run.
She just had to hit it on the court.
Yeah, just make
And
her
that was
run.
set
Yeah,
point.
And that was set point. Yeah, right there. 6-2.
That was too bad.
Yeah. With the consistency, what I used to do with my players sometimes, the ones who were overhitting all the time, I'd say, okay, I'm going to play a set with you. I'm going to hit every ball to you. And if you hit 5 in a row over the net, it's your point no matter what. And I'd beat them every time.
And most
They couldn't do it 5 times in a row, even when I hit every ball to them.
we
And that brought the point home sometimes about consistency.
when
wins.
Katie and I coached in Arizona, our goal was for the kids, if you hit the ball in the court 3 times, you're probably going to win the point.
Yep.
And that worked out most of the time. I will say, I've been sneaking to look over here at the doubles.
Well, we
and,
are now switching over.
Yep.
You
It
can
It looks
see.
like they got a late start. I don't know. Something happened.
They delay for TV.
Yeah, we delay it so we can watch a set here and then move back.
okay,
and
that
get
was
that
it.
way we can get more tennis
made
in.
for
So I'm new to the TV world here,
Yeah.
so I didn't
Made for
realize how you guys.
television.
Okay,
Oh, we got
gotcha.
somebody coming for makeup for you. In a bit, so.
Sure, I need it. I need it desperately.
One of the things you need to know, these are the best chairs I've sat in when I've done one of these matches, Ken.
It
Okay,
took,
well.
Took a while.
15 or more years, not even closer.
Well, you're
to
older
20
than I
or
am, so
20.
you need a chair.
Yes,
so,
we got
yeah.
these.
Hey, you're telling me the truth there, Ken. You are.
What are you, 1 year older? Or 2?
I'm 77 in October.
Are you really?
Yes.
Geez, you are old.
Yeah, I am.
I'm a young
Yeah.
71. So.
My daughter Katie tells me when things aren't working quite as good, she says, Dad, you are 76 now.
Yeah,
Well,
they do remind you.
I feel good because I'm not the old guy on the set. I'm always the older guy.
Okay.
So
And I love you for it.
I-
I do. I had a guy at work today. I guessed that I was only 36.
yeah.
That's
Said,
solid.
I will definitely
You will take that.
Take it. Okay, they're about to line up here in a traditional formation. The Anoka girl's going to serve. If they were doing Australian, she'd be right by the singles, and her partner be on the opposite side of the
gotcha.
court.
Okay.
And force this girl to hit down the line rather than
Right.
cross court. They use it a little bit more on the backhand side because
Yep.
that's a tougher shot. The cross court backhand is usually pretty easy, but a backhand down the line is a big change of pace.
Ella Larson is serving for Anoka, her partner Lila Fedor.
Yeah.
On the other side
Well,
of
now
that
they're
for
gonna
Coon
do-
Rapids,
Ah,
Emma
they're
Newton
doing
and
Australian,
Kelsey
just like
Goldman.
we talked about. How about that? Just like for
Right
TV.
there.
That's
Ken,
Australian right here.
Kenny, you talked to them
Yeah.
before they started.
Now, the girl should have served it right at her, but that was a good get. They're moving around. I love the way they move. And she's got to get up to the net. Ew.
Nice.
Looked like
Nice
a good
play in the
shot.
back corner.
Looked like a really good shot.
And you guys touched on signals, and you saw them do that as well. We used to always do signals playing doubles in high school, and you know, it's just we were always taught to just to be active and to switch and make sure you talk to your partner, and whatever side you saw the ball coming, you would switch, and your partner would switch opposite.
Now, she just missed the correct first serve down to the backhand, but the girl missed the forehand return, so it worked out.
I think that is one of the biggest mistakes that we just saw there from the Coon Rapids player. Because
Just the easy second serve.
well,
and
the girl
overhead.
is not coming to the net. Hit it
Yeah.
in the square in front of her. Make her come in. That's a nice backhand. Is that in? Out?
No,
No,
that
it
was
was
out.
out.
That was a
It was
misplay
out.
at the net.
Okay.
So that's the old unforced error thing. I mean, Anoka's been moving around, but they haven't done anything spectacular. But Coon Rapids has made the unforced errors here so far this game.
See, that girl doesn't have to move at all.
She moves in there. So she should still
She
be
moves
moving
in.
in. We have an active fan over
We
there.
have
I was
well,
going
we
to say,
have
it's a crowd pleaser right there.
Ah.
We actually have a pretty nice crowd here. It must be because you guys are here.
Oh,
And,
that's it.
You're
I'm
the
sure it was
attraction.
announced everywhere.
Yeah, well, it was. It was announced.
Uh-huh. Bob didn't
And
know
the
I was
fact that
coming,
it-
so I don't know how that
I
happened.
didn't
The
even-
fan,
Well, we did though.
it feel the fact that it feels more like midsummer
You're right.
might have a little to do with it.
Now those are two really nice ripped backhands
Yes,
by the
they
Coon
were.
Rapids girl there, and this is where Anoka, next time they serve, really have to make sure she can't hit that shot and really be Australian and hit down even to her forehand return or right at her, and not let her have that return, which is really good. She had two really nice ones.
See,
and got them in
yeah.
the game.
Coon Rapids, the girl from Coon Rapids did flash a signal.
She's coming
Oh,
in, very nice.
nice.
Very
See,
nice.
that was a solid volley.
That was really good. Really good serve and volley on the second serve. That's a
Yeah.
surprise.
Yeah, and again, you put so much velocity on that second hit.
Yeah.
Really, Anoka had no opportunity to
well,
return it.
and she really had nice technique with that.
She did. I'd like to see them spin in their first serves a little more and just with good depth and not worry about the first one being hard. You got a partner there to cover that up. Just see, that's just kind of wasted energy there.
Whoa.
When you guys coached, second serve is always so important when you miss that first. How did you? I mean, I see. We see a lot of second serves are just weak and kind of soft. What did you guys talk to
it
your
was really
players
nice moving
about?
in there too.
Did they get a free one there, Ken?
I don't know. I thought she had a nice volley that clipped the net over.
No, but I thought the serve was long. For
Oh,
me. But I'm not
yeah,
going
it
to call
was-
it.
No, that'd be good. That'd be good.
We're not going to call it.
We're not going to do that.
I thought Anoka won the point on that.
Well, over the years, kids played a lot more out balls in
Yeah.
than the other way around over the years. It's just your perspective. Looking at it, it appears to be in because it kind of blocks the line. And better than the other way around where
Yep.
people are making bad calls. Yeah,
No.
she overhit.
But see, I do a lot of work with senior ladies and doubles down in Arizona, 65 to 75-year-olds. And one of the things I tell them, Ken, I don't know what you tell them in pickleball, I said, there's really not much of a point of hitting the ball in the square of the person standing in. If you're hitting it right to them, people who have played tennis for 25 years are going to make the shot.
Yes.
If you hit it, you know. So
Right.
why don't you hit it in a different square?
Yep.
Well, Anoka took a 1-0 lead here at first singles.
Yeah. There's the first serve. No.
Yeah,
Yep. It's a
that
good
was
return.
a good return.
How, as coaches, do you walk up and down the line and still feel that you can absorb enough about what's going on in each of the 7 matches?
You go first,
to
Bob.
really,
I've
to
got 'em.
really give the
Okay, here's-
input. I mean,
okay.
obviously you know who's playing, you know the girls' tendencies and things, but to really know what's what's working and what not working for each of your players when they're spread out like that and all
Okay.
going at the same time.
Okay, Ken, when we first started coaching, we didn't have scorecards. Am I correct, pretty much?
Yes, they came in, yeah, it was about
Okay, so
10 years or so.
So
I'd say, yeah.
as soon as we got scorecards, I would be able to tell them pretty clearly, what to do. I said, if you never want me to talk to you, you're either going to lose 6-0, 6-0, or you're going to win 6-0 to 6-0. I can't do much to help you there. But so basically, nice shot.
Very nice.
Nice
Good
shot
control.
at first singles.
Yeah.
And so basically, I would know where I needed to be related to where the score is.
There's a good poach by
Right,
Coon Rapids.
right.
Nice poach.
See, I think
It's Kelsey Goldman at the net, Emma Newton, her partner.
Yeah, and I think the scorecards did help us a lot, and especially at Anoka where I was, we had 5
You had
courts above and I had 5
two
below.
tiers,
So 2
yeah.
matches were down below, and I couldn't see them, so I'd have to go to the edge of the hill and look, and that really helped a lot. I also could tell certain players, you knew by their body language a lot of times, just if they were into the match, if things weren't going well, or if things were going really well. You could
Yeah.
usually tell. And sometimes I'd watch doubles a little bit, make sure they're active, make sure they're not just always standing and not poaching, not moving, not communicating. But yeah, there's a lot of. But Bob was right. I mean, if you had someone who's cruising, you just give them a little wave and thumbs up and don't change. And
don't change.
if someone is really getting blasted, you try and get them back on the first set. After the first set, if you get them into the second set, sometimes things could turn
Could
around.
happen.
But
Did I break your chair here? Go. There, I got
Okay.
I fixed it.
We're good.
We're good.
We're good.
We need a
We're
little
good.
glue.
they'll send you the repair bill.
There will. Nice poach.
Oh, that's very good. Very good.
Nice poach. One of my interesting matches was, Ken, you know a friend of ours, Doug Madej.
Yeah, so Doug, yeah, sure.
Yeah, his son played for me, and Robbie was a good, competent third, fourth singles player for us. And Robbie goes out in this one match, and Robbie's probably not going to get this broadcast, but anyway, Robbie wins the first set 6-0. Nice volley. Nice point.
This is good. Now the girl should have been back up at the net. Now she retreated. Oh, and they won it anyway.
Don't like that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, he loses the second set, 6-1. And I really had some good comments to say to him during the first and second set. See, she gets that ball back.
That's a smart play
That's
right
a
there.
smart play.
That's
But
a smart play.
she almost got it, though.
Yeah.
And I said, Robbie, I want you to know this. I said, if you want to play for us, I think you should win this fourth set or the third set. He did, so I was never put in a spot. But it was just, It's really interesting. Kenny, how many things did you try and tell your kids when you had a switchover?
Oh, one or two at most.
That's it?
Usually, and usually just about positioning or being
Right.
consistent.
Yeah.
I remember I had a first doubles team once who, I can't remember who they were playing, but it was a good first doubles team, and they lost the first set 6-0. And they came back to the finish just looking dazed, and I said, okay, that set never happened.
There.
You got 2 sets to win. Forget it. You played lousy. They played good. And they did come back and win that match, I
That's
think.
good.
But you just got to get them back on track. And the nice thing about tennis, of course, it's not timed. So you've got all the time in the world to come back if you keep believing.
You only have to
go
win
through.
that last point.
No, that's it. So
Yeah, that was. Coon Rapids girls making it first singles just a few too many errors that,
yeah.
and the Anoka girl keeps getting the ball back, keeps getting it back, keeps getting it back.
I like the aggressiveness of the Coon Rapids doubles girls. I think they're just missing their volleys a little bit now. I hope they don't retreat from it, and they just got to tighten it up and make it simplify. Sometimes they swing a little too much, or they try and put spin on it rather than just popping it back in play.
See, now there was a nice shot from the Coon Rapids girl at first. Keep making that girl come in. Don't hit it back to her. Hit this next one short. And now you hit.
That's a deep bounce to the back, and now she comes in. She should have a shot here. Boom.
Smart.
Well, she's coming. See?
Oh, get ready. Girl
Yeah.
made a good play.
It was a good play, and she knew she was going to get it, but she wasn't really ready for it to come back. Now she's just out hustling her a little bit and a little more consistent. And it wears on you. When you
Yeah.
play, no one likes to play what we call the pusher. Someone will get everything back. But, it's a mental test.
So what would you say, either of you, what would you say you miss the most about coaching high school tennis?
Well, you go first.
I don't miss the weather in Minnesota.
Oh, well, in the spring. In the spring was, oh, my Lord. We have stories about winter, winter in the spring.
For me, the best thing was when you had a team that really, and they didn't have to be the best team, but if you had a team that worked together and they played hard, I appreciated that so much. I mean, if you came here and you were a good teammate, and you practiced hard every day, you miss that. It's fun being around kids. I mean,
Right.
when Katie and I were coaching at the Arizona College Prep, one of the interesting things was whenever this is the truth, whenever we would tell our players, hey, maybe you should try this. We're going to work on this today. They would usually thank us.
That's a great poach right girl.
See,
that girl's dominating right there.
Yep, she's the one who
She's just feisty and just loves to get into the mix. That's what you want in a doubles player.
Yep.
Yeah, just being aggressive
Yep.
at the net.
Yep.
She's a nice player.
They got to think
Yep.
about her. Now
Right.
she's in the middle a little bit.
Yep.
She's always in their mind. Just what you want to be.
Ken, what would you have your receiver do in a position like this? Coon Rapids girl.
If she was outguessing him, I'd see if they could just lob over her.
Sure.
Hit a lob return, pop
And
it over her, and get up to the net.
That's what I would say. Say if you ever see something that you're not,
Because she's short. She's not,
Yeah.
compared to her partner. And
if you're not used to something,
yeah, look
don't
at
do
See,
that.
She's just right there. She's loving it.
Do you remember what I said a little earlier? Why would you hit the ball back to the person who's in the square?
Exactly.
Well, the thing was, she crossed over, but it'll be interesting to see if they adjust.
Get your hand up.
Yeah, you definitely want to stay away from the middle of the net.
Yeah.
Ella Larson, a
But
couple of really nice plays at the net for the
Oh.
Tornadoes, and now a double fault for Fedor.
Mhm.
Now I'm going to ask you a question, Kenny. My daughter Katie was the first of my daughters who wanted to come to see the match today. She's around here someplace.
Yeah, I met her. I talked to
Oh,
Katie
did you?
before I saw you, actually.
What do you think the first thing she said when she saw the Coon Rapids girls?
The Coon Rapids girls?
Yep.
Let me think. The shoulders, exposed shoulders on their outfits, or I don't know.
No.
What?
She said, because they're in shorts, they can be athletic.
Ah.
How's that?
Oh.
I don't know if that's a sexist remark or what. I don't know what you get. Will you scratch that one?
I don't know. I think.
But that's what she when we voted on it. When I had daughters on the team for 3 years, or 10 years, excuse me, and when they would vote on it, they had enough. I would say enough personality to say we're going with shorts, and they went with shorts every year.
It's very rare that you see teams wearing the traditional
Skirts?
tennis skirts.
Yeah, that.
Is that out now a little bit?
Well, I haven't seen them as
I don't
many
see
either.
it.
Oh, really?
As
Okay.
much.
Yeah,
No, I think it's
very,
less expensive.
Very rare.
Less
Obviously,
expensive.
Anoka is wearing
Right.
them, but
In shorts, you have a chance to fit more groups than you do.
Right, less expensive. And
well, and I find it interesting. There's still a few lacrosse teams, girls
really?
lacrosse teams that will play in the pleated looking skirts.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
occasionally we'll see that.
You know, more of a field hockey, more
Right.
traditional uniform, but very rare.
But I think it's just a decision a particular team wants to make, and as long as they're comfortable and compete, and they're good.
And now, Bob, when your girls were playing, that was the 70s, 80s.
90s and early
It
2000s.
was, let's see, they were. Come on, keep your hand up.
Yeah.
Keep your hand up.
She's had a lot of those
let's
high
see.
volleys that she's
I
had.
think Amy graduated. Amy is 48. I think she graduated in 87, somewhere around there.
That sounds about right.
And Katie was 89, and Sarah's turning 40, so she was in, let's say 94, 95. I'm guessing somewhere around there.
Now your daughter's going to be okay with you telling their age.
Now
on
I
air?
was just thinking that. But the reason I asked was
Well-
at the time were most of the teams still wearing the traditional skirt then?
No, our kid, you know what? I can't even remember. I didn't really worry about what other people were wearing. I had to worry more about what our kids were doing and having their equipment.
Sure.
Hey,
Did you remember your racket?
Yeah.
that- you
And
got
your
it.
shoes.
And your water bottle.
And your
shoes.
water bottle.
And
That
your,
was it.
yeah, and your uniform.
Well, I'll get you. My son is a hockey goaltender. We went to the rink one day, and he didn't have his leg pads with him.
Oh my goodness.
Those things are huge.
Kids.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you
forget them?
not notice that you don't have them?
Yeah, that's teenagers.
Excuse me.
Fortunately, we only live 5 minutes from
Yeah.
the rink. It wasn't,
Oh,
like
she's
we were on a.
She had
She
shred
sets herself up so nicely. So many. Yeah. She's driving Scott crazy, whatever
I'll
he's
bet
watched.
he is. I'll bet he is.
Because she's played
Okay.
the points up to the finishing shot act very well, and just hasn't been able to hit that last volley in play.
Katie, and I don't know who she was playing against, Ken, but our kids always had to have water in their equipment and do all this stuff. And she's playing against somebody who's dying out there, and the girl's saying, "Can I have a drink of your water?" And Katie's a strong personality. She says, "No, you're supposed to have your own water."
Right. I'm not giving you an advantage.
In addition, the reason why you're supposed to have your own water is we don't want to spread germs around. So that's the other part. So anyway.
Yeah, we've had that discussion as well.
Hey, now
you
I
have your water.
got to
your
ask you.
racket,
I
and
got
your
to
shoes.
ask you a question. The Columbia Ice Arena is no longer there.
No, it is
No,
gone.
It's not.
Okay.
It's
gone.
gone. It is the new city hall for
Okay.
the city of Fridley.
Yeah.
That's what I was guessing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a beautiful facility.
It looks like a nice facility.
I just drove past there for the first time in a long time, just a week or two ago,
Oh, nice shot.
and that was
Boom.
my first thought. I have very fond memories of Columbia Arena. That is where we played a lot of our tournament games as youth players. We'd come up from Minneapolis, straight up university, and I really always liked that facility a lot. It was a great atmosphere, and of course, seeing it over the last 10 to 15 years as it sat there vacant was a little disappointing. And then it went
Nice
away, and
return.
now this last time I drove past there and went, "Wow, look at the
Well,
police
this is-
station and City Hall. Oh, that's where Columbia was."
Yep.
So, and I think actually at that time, just a couple weeks ago, they were in the process of starting to tear down the old City Hall, which is just a little further south on University.
Well, we've got a pretty good match here going at first
Yeah,
doubles. I think.
I don't know if it's 4-3 Anoka. I can't. I missed a. They
Don't
didn't flip
know.
the
Oh,
cards.
they haven't flipped the cards.
I think Coon Rapids didn't want to. That's usually a sign. Oh,
Yeah,
let's see
we'll
what we
Go
got
back. She
here.
heard
We'll
us.
see.
She must have heard us talking.
Here comes.
Oh, she's
4-3.
changing hers.
4-3.
4 to
Okay, so
3.
they're kind of on serve.
I think.
They're on serve.
Would you agree, Kenny? The girl serving for Anoka is the difference in the match right
Yep,
now.
she's the one that can seems to be the difference maker if they keep letting her be.
Yep.
You know.
Well, as you touched on, I mean, she's really good at the net. Hit the ball over her head. You know, get her to run back and get her away from being at the net.
Yeah, it's definitely proven to be Larson's more comfortable spot on the court, and obviously has proven very effective and dangerous when up at the net.
Well, I'll bet she plays another sport. I'm not trying to guess what she would play, but she just looks like such a good little athlete that I'm trying to guess. That's a nice lob. Now they should come in. Her partner should come in too.
That's a good lob back.
That's an excellent lob back. That was
She
a great
should
recovery.
have. She should have called Lillette.
Should have hit her foot, but
Yeah.
Oh, if a ball from another court hits your foot while you're playing the ball?
When it rolls on your court, you call Lillette right
Oh.
now, because if you have seen it, it has a nice backhand.
good return. She coming in.
Nice
She had
volley.
long.
All right, good returns by Coon Rapids there. I think they've taken back a little bit of control here, especially if they take this game. They'll be serving for
You
the
know
first set.
Ken, this girl could be a guard in basketball.
She could be.
Well, and as you were talking about that, I was going to say probably a hockey player.
She could be hockey or on any sport she wants.
Yeah, she's athletic.
She ought to
enough
be a
do that.
lacrosse player.
Is lacrosse spring?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll have to ask Coach Hayes or their coach if she plays other sports.
Well, in my humble opinion, if you say great athletes, hockey always springs to mind. I don't know why.
I can't totally disagree with you. I had the pleasure of having Jody Horak play for me in girls
she was-
tennis.
sure, yeah.
Yep.
She was a pretty good player.
Olympic goalie.
She was
and,
very good.
Yep.
Yeah, she was such a good athlete, and of course a
And,
goalie.
I was going to say I'm a little biased towards goalies
Yes,
too
yes,
now.
uh-huh.
So
She and my daughter Sarah played on a USTA team
Oh, they did.
together. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
One of Sarah's last years when she was playing.
Yeah, I just plugged her in at second, third singles, and she
And
won
she-
almost every time. Or
There-
doubles, wherever I wanted her.
There's where you have a person who can compete. If
And a
you-
multi-sport athlete.
Yep,
Her,
yep.
Of course, hockey was her sport, but
Yep.
she still played something else.
You know, and the interesting thing is, get that ball off the court. The interesting thing is that she, hanging around her, helped the other kids on the team.
Mm-hmm.
They helped her.
Well, one of the things, the multi-sport athletes, you saw their dedication to their sport, you know,
Yeah.
and sports, whatever it was, and the work they had to put in a variety of things. And
well, and competitiveness is contagious.
yes,
Absolutely. If somebody is out there, especially if they have a good attitude toward their teammates, if they're out there and they're working hard, they're the best player on the team, and they're out there giving 110% to get even better. That does certainly tend to motivate teammates to say, hey,
Right.
if they're that good and they're still working to get better, I should do that too.
exactly. So,
Well, even-
oh, nice shot.
Nice shot,
Oh, nice
nice
get.
shot.
What a
Even
good get. This is a
expanding on
great
that
point.
Nice shot.
Oh, nice.
Nice shot.
Nice
Anoka, Coon
point.
Rapids, good shot.
Yeah, Coon Rapids girl finished really nicely there.
Even expanding on that, it's when that player who is your exceptional player also lends support to their teammates.
Absolutely,
and
and
I think that even is so
And
much
that's
more
what
important.
I meant, you
Yep.
know, as I was saying that, you know, as a good teammate,
Yep.
somebody who's just always positive about the others around them and building others up rather than talking about how good they are.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I had the
Like you used to.
Yeah, I had the good fortune of having the Skogerbo sisters on
Yep.
my Blaine girls team. 5 sisters, who 4 of which played D1 tennis after playing for me, and they were not only great players but great people. Brought friends out, got friends to start playing, and when they were younger, the parents were awesome and helping the girls out of
But-
season when I couldn't, and That really builds your program when you have a.
And they had a Coon Rapids address. You know that, Ken.
I'm
just saying.
Before they moved.
What are you
Oh,
saying?
that's true. I had a Coon Rapids address too.
You had a Coon Rapids
I
address.
Still
Yeah.
plenty of people with Coon Rapids addresses.
I was on the wrong side of the tracks, Bob.
You
Well,
were.
That's-
technically,
I know.
Technically, across the street from Blaine High School is
just
Coon
about.
Rapids.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is.
It is,
The
yeah.
Coon Rapids city sign is right across the street from Blaine High School.
Right. Right. I think.
One of the things, and Ken knows this guy, Tom Olmscheid. Tom Olmscheid basically only played tennis for Coon Rapids High School, but you should have seen him when they played open gym basketball, when they played table tennis. Oh my God!
And wasn't he in Spring Lake Park?
No, he was right on the board.
He was on the border, so there you got one there.
Right. We were also supposed to get Scott Larson. His family moved to Coon Rapids, and he stayed at Irondale.
Oh.
You didn't know that one,
I
did
did
you?
not know that one.
Look at everybody's finding out new things here this
We
afternoon.
have to go back and do this over.
Right.
We're going to go back to singles now.
Okay, well, Coon Rapids did win that first double set. They hung in there, and
Got the 6-3 win.
Yep.
yeah, 6-3.
Back over here, we have Jersey McAlpine with a comfortable lead after winning the first set 6-2.
Her last name's McAlpine?
Yep.
Oh, I think I had her dad or mom. Her dad, McAlpine. Sounds like a hockey guy.
I think you're right, Ken.
That's maybe even a hockey goalie. Wouldn't that be funny? I have to ask super fans here. I should ask him.
Jerry, yeah.
Yeah,
He
super
would- he
fans
would-
here. He would know.
Jerry would know.
Yeah, so I'll have to find him.
The only thing I know Jerry to be wrong about is that it was 7 overtimes and not 6 when Coon Rapids beat Champlain Park in the playoffs in 2000.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, we go back and forth about it. In fact, when he was here, I held up
Actually,
7
I think
fingers.
it was earlier than that. I think.
oh, that's what that was. Okay.
Yeah.
God, I think that might have been 99.
Come on, hit it on the court.
No, 2000 or 2001. I'll have to go back and check my records. I keep saying that ever since he brought it up, that he disagrees. It was 7 overtimes.
We have some matches that
I
have
keep-
finished. It looks like a match is
Yeah.
finished.
Keep meaning to look
I
that
couldn't-
up and find out the right
Like a
answer.
third or third singles maybe. First.
Well,
was
second singles.
Second's over here, I think, isn't it? Or
No,
am I-
second was right next on the other side of the
Okay,
doubles.
that one's done. I'm not sure who won. Let me look at the card. I can't see the card. Oh, they took the cards. That's why.
This
It
girl
was a nice play down to the back line by
the
McAlpine.
Anoka girl has a little better concept of hitting the ball on the court at the end of the points.
Yes.
That's for
A
sure.
little more consistent at the crucial point.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if this match ends up a lopsided score, it's one of those you can look back and say,
If she
the Coon Rapids girl could have won this match. Was that even?
She gets
Yeah,
herself
see,
in great
look at that.
position
See,
again.
just right there. Yeah, great positioning, set it all up, and then missed the key shot.
that's interesting.
As
Well,
was
yeah.
just going to push that wide. I mean, she had plenty of court.
And as I know, Bob, you used to say, and Coach Stork says, and Ken, I'm sure you said to all your players as you were playing, this is a game that you can play forever. It's a game as long as you fall in love with it.
Mhm.
So, I mean, the setup is all there. It's just one little tweak.
Come on.
And it could be a different match, and you talked about that too, Ken. And if you look at it, come tournament time, this matchup shows up. These two young ladies on the same court, and McAlpine does finish this one off with a rather relatively lopsided victory. You'd imagine she has the much higher seed going in, and probably some confidence. But Grace could also approach that match with
Come on.
quite a bit of confidence, knowing just how well she played and how close she was
Nice
on so
shot.
many points.
Right there.
Oh,
see,
there-
that's the one. Yeah.
It's hurting me. Still hurts. But it would hurt me if the Anoka girl
It
missed
would
that
hurt
one.
me too.
Sure.
Would you?
You
Ken?
just want to see good
You
tennis.
wanna see
You want to
good
see the
tennis.
good fundamentals.
Right.
Yeah. And again, she has that last one. She thinks she needs to hit a little bit harder than necessary because the other girl's gotten everything back. So they
I got
plant
it.
that little seed, then they
Okay.
overhit and,
Okay.
and miss shots they should.
I'm gonna direct this to the West Eye Cowboy. My brother, I have a brother who made it into the Southwest High School Hall of Fame.
That's where Joe went.
Did you go there?
I did.
Okay. I asked my brother when I found in, I says, are you going in as an Indian or are you going in as a
That's
Laker?
a great question. And what was his answer?
Yeah.
What do you guess?
Yeah, I
Cowboy.
would say he's definitely an Indian.
He's definitely an Indian.
Absolutely. If you have the opportunity, you're an Indian.
You're an Indian.
I was actually the first full class of Lakers.
Really? Okay.
Yep. The name was changed in the summer of 1987,
Okay.
before my freshman year. So I was the first. The class of '91 was the first class to go through there, with it being Lakers all 4 years.
Okay. Got it. See, look at that.
Yeah.
She is
We like her.
very good at the net.
Yeah.
They do,
We'd like her.
but Coon Rapids is doing a much better job of keeping her out of the points. And
But I think, and see, this is a case, Ken, with this girl moving so much, that you'd probably have the serve returner lob a little more,
Yeah.
Get it away.
Yeah.
Give her this match here at First Singles looks one-sided, but Ken had a good comment. If Coon Rapids makes the volleys,
could be 3-2,
Oh,
either
yeah,
way.
it could be
Right.
either
what
way.
we've seen,
It's just a matter of figuring out your opponent
Yeah.
and playing to trying to find their weakness.
No, I'm going to throw another one in. This is one of the things that we do. My wife and I, we did grandkids lessons. One of my Katie's kids are homeschooled, so we could go out and find a court on Tuesday morning and so on. So we were going out with two of them for a while, but then the 10-year-old, she decided tennis is not for her, so we're okay with that. So we go out with Abby. Abby would be, she's an 8th grader this year. She is, okay, let me look here. I'm trying to describe how she would be. Abby is like the girl at the net for Coon Rapids. She's going into 8th grade, a left-hander, but has 15 more pounds on her.
Okay.
Not fast, and so on. But anyway, I've been on the court with her for like 6 years. So Ken, so when you have a chance to be with somebody for a long period of time, nice shot.
Out there.
Thank you.
See, that's the one.
Nice shot, Coon Rapids. Make that one at the end of the point. Come on.
It was beautifully done, and that's
what's
Grace
been
is, as we've talked about, getting herself into great position, setting up beautifully, and they're just all she needed to do was tap it into the open court. That's what she did.
That's a good get from the Coon Rapids girl, but that was a great play by the Anoka girl.
I love the way that girl plays.
She
I
does.
Do. They may lose the match, but she's just been.
She's been really
She's
good.
one you can plug in and play doubles for any team around.
So Abby's playing with my wife, and so they had to drill more because the younger girl decided she didn't want to be with us. And so Maureen makes the statement. She says, if I do not pick up my game a little bit, I'm going to get killed. And that's the truth. I mean,
At least she knew that going in.
she's after the first time.
Yep.
And so what Maureen started doing, she started hitting the ball harder, and she started moving more. Now Maureen's 76 too, and she can move okay. But it was so much fun. It was actually like the same kind of tennis that when we would go on the court with Amy and Katie and Sarah, and she would hit with them then. We'd laugh, we'd play, we'd have fun, and that's still fun for me. I'm sure, Ken, when you go out with do just one of your kids play?
Yeah, just one.
But you have fun, I'm sure, when you go out with them.
Yeah. Brings back a lot of memories with my older kids. So.
You bet.
Yeah. Too many unforced errors on the return of serve.
Okay, so now this
Got to
girl.
put it in, especially if they're not
is-
rushing the net.
Okay, hasn't missed a couple of shots. So what's happened? Coon
I
Rapids
think
girl
it's
has
1-5 now.
is 1-5.
Yep.
But
Confidence.
well, you got to make the person hit the shot.
Well, and I think a lot of it is make the shots you can make to
Yeah.
win the point, like we saw earlier.
The
You
other
know
thing
what? You know, Joe and Howie, I think you should have Ken and I come and do basketball games with you or football games with you. We could probably we could probably talk a lot of insight there.
Well, I'm
that
sure
would
you
help
could.
you there, you
I
know.
have a lot of good memories of
You-
watching
Well,
you
yeah.
got-
Coon Rapids
but,
Anoka
but in a
basketball.
football game, you'd really have to battle for time with Shapiro. He does like to talk.
Okay, there you go.
You're taking away his soapbox.
There you go. Hey,
I hardly get to say what's happening on the field.
Oh yeah, sure.
that's a nice lob.
That's very good play right there.
But the Anoka girl at the net, did you see what she did right away? She moved. Hey, now I have to ask you a question about football. I noticed in the paper last week there was a kid from Coon Rapids who
Yep,
was
Jordan
a
Doe.
player of the week.
Yep.
Great
Coon-
game.
Yep.
Coon Rapids has a
Receiver.
2-1 record.
They do.
This is pretty good for them this year.
This is
isn't it?
very nice for them.
They're off to a nice start. The only loss was to in the first in the season opener on the road against St. Thomas, who only lost in the Prep Bowl last season.
Right. And
And I believe they're 3-0 right now.
they are
And-
number 2.
Yeah, they're a pretty good football team. So we were a little concerned after seeing what they had to offer against St. Thomas, and especially because they came up empty on 3 straight attempts from the 1-yard line.
Ooh.
That would have made it a close game at half of that one. But the last couple of weeks, they've moved the ball pretty well on offense. The defense is really strong.
Well, and they have a new head coach
And they
that
were
came
helped
from
out.
Blaine.
They were helped
Yes.
out a little bit. They had 5 had 5 takeaways last week, and
Yeah, that's
a
big.
couple of them were giveaways.
Right.
Okay.
But you know,
Hello, Amy Pivik.
you'll definitely take that.
Well, you know, and again, the first year coach is
Nice,
a
sir.
young man, and he does a really nice job. I'm very impressed with him early on, Nick Gresson, and the kids have bought in, and that's the key. The kids buy into the program, and they work really hard. As Joe mentioned, the defense works really hard, and I thought the offense had their best game of the year this past week.
Oh, no question. You know, Jake Van Hulsen and Jordan Doe really connected
Yep.
well. Jordan ended up with 9 catches, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Jake threw for 231 yards and 2
Coon
touchdowns.
Rapids girl made 4 volleys on that last point at first singles. That is really good.
Yeah, see it again.
And then a great cross court to finish it.
Yeah.
Nice job, Coon Rapids. Keep making that volley up there. You're doing good.
Coach, cheerleader, commentator.
There you go.
Bob
Do it all.
Pivik.
That's a nice shot.
Yeah, and again, you keep that ball low like
Look at
she
that.
did. Makes it difficult for McAlpine to get the ball back.
Yeah, and Grace over the last game and a half, really, the shots are falling for her a little bit better.
Right.
The placement is there.
That's tough. Make the shot. Yes.
Easy play to the corner. No chance for McAlpine. Point for Hanula.
And just a really nice job of attacking and getting in close, and then we talked about a coach. She does such a great job of hitting that point, knowing she can win the point.
You know, one of the things she might have been doing here is in the last couple of points, she might have been getting in a little tough volley. Little. Don't play it. Don't play it. If she might be getting in a little closer to the net.
Yep.
And that's why the girl who's controlling the double match over here, she's so close to the net that she's able to, you know, knock the ball down. And smart lob. Boy, does she move good though. This is going to be a tougher one. That's a good shot.
Oh,
That was just a good shot, and you hit a good shot too.
yep, a good shot and great recovery and good replacement for good placement for
Yeah.
McAlpine to win the point.
Gosh, she has. That was another good shot.
Yeah.
It was a,
You get a deep.
great
Yeah.
volley and point at the
She-
net for Grace.
She
That's
played.
it.
And
She lost, but she played really well at the end of the match.
She did. She really did.
Yeah.
And like to Joe, back to Joe's point. You may not know, but these girls may meet again later down the road in sections, and
Yeah.
so she can take what she learned here in this first match and
well,
use it then.
I'd say it could have easily gone almost 180 degrees if Grace, especially early on, is hitting some of those kill shots. She was definitely moving McAlpine around. She was setting up beautifully. She was in the right spot, just not getting that
That's a tough shot.
finish shot.
Wasn't that a tough shot? in
That
doubles
was a
there?
tough shot.
That was a tough shot.
So we will go back over to the doubles now and watch the conclusion of the first doubles match, with McAlpine taking first singles at 6-2, 6-1. And a first set win at 6-3 for the Cardinals, and now a 3-0 lead here in the second set.
Yeah, a nice advantage here. Winning that first set, now up 3-0.
Yep.
It's a really good advantage for Coon Rapids.
Yeah, and the real difficulty has been for the Cardinals has been when Ella Larson is at the net. She
Yeah.
is very good up there. And whatever they can do to back her off, force her to the back line.
You know, an interesting thing, going back to one of the things Ken said earlier, if you remember, I asked him the question, how many things did you tell your kids on switchovers? And we were both about the same there. You know, you can
Yeah.
only tell them one or two
Yeah,
things.
right.
Yep.
The difference was, if there was a difference, I made my kids repeat them to me.
Well, and that's smart, and that's smart because you know how kids can be, and you just want to make sure they know, and especially if you limit, if you just give them a couple, that's manageable.
Yeah, I've always thought that same thing when watching my son, especially in baseball, as he came up and they were young kids and they had different coaches who would go out and talk to their pitchers, and they would give them like 8 instructions. It's like it's complicated enough, and there's enough mental in it. You just made it even that more.
Throw the ball over the plate.
Right. That's
Yeah, right.
hey, stretch your arm out. Make sure you're coming over the top. Have fun.
Did you watch the White Sox and the Twins yesterday at all?
I did.
How many?
I did not watch yesterday. I did watch the 12-inning win. I saw the very end of last night's game as they lost.
How many pitchers did the White Sox use? 8.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Did they
8.
really?
Yeah, I was going to say at least I thought 7, but 8.
They had 7 before their closer came in the night.
Yeah, okay. There's a lot of pitchers.
That's a lot
used
of
in a game.
pitchers.
I did
Well,
not
they still
stay
got-
up for the 12-inning game.
I did.
I turned
can't-
it off.
I can't stay up that
You know what's
late.
funny? I
5
turned
o'clock
it-
comes too early.
I tuned that game in right at the 3rd inning when the Twins scored their 5, all in the 3rd
Yep.
inning. And then I just kind of left it on. I was doing some other things and saw the lead disappear. Then, when Chicago hit the home run in the 11th, I went, well, maybe I should go to bed. Now I give the Twins a chance. They came back and tied. And then when they hit another home run in the 12th and it was a 2-run home run, I went, well,
That's when I went to bed.
maybe I should go to bed. And then the bottom of the 12th inning was a lot of fun. 5 hits to load the bases and then a walk-off hit by pitch. Not as as exciting a finish as a walk-off home run, but it got the job done. And I don't know, were they playing an afternoon game today?
No, I think
I don't know.
they're playing an evening game.
Are they? Every point matters now.
Yes, it does. 4-game lead.
And of course, last night they lost. Cleveland won, so the magic number stayed at 7.
Boy, that doubleheader sweep against Cleveland.
That was huge.
Yeah, that was huge.
4 games.
Yeah.
It would have been great to see them finish the sweep of that whole series, but Yeah, taking 2 out of 3 was
Yeah.
huge. They needed that, especially when Cleveland, their last visit here, had taken 2 out of 3.
An interesting thing was when we look at this, Cleveland has Detroit. Going into last night's games with Detroit, Cleveland 16, Detroit 1
Wow.
on the first 17 games.
Right.
God.
Crazy.
Yeah, I can't remember what they said. I think the Twins and the White Sox 13-5 or something like that in the
Yep.
Twins' favor.
Yep.
Maybe 13-6 after last night.
Anoka double
Well, it
team,
can't
able to
be.
break serve.
13, I think
Yeah,
13
Anoka broke serve.
Yep. So it's a good opportunity for them. Now down 3-1.
Smart shot.
Keep it away from Larson.
Yeah, there we go.
And Fedor.
Just think how good
plays it
Ken
long.
and I would have been if we were on the same staff.
Undefeated.
Plenty
Undefeated.
Plenty of experience there, no doubt.
Smart shot again.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the one thing that Coach Storick mentioned in the switchover.
Oh, come on.
When she's at the net, play it over her.
See, here's the thing I would have said. Okay, the girl on the left side for Coon Rapids, when the ball's in the green, she's got to get to the other side of the
Yep.
service line. She's got to get way to the other side of the service line. There's nothing magical about that center line.
A little bit long.
Yep. It was.
What made a player more suited for doubles than singles? Or is there something?
Okay, this girl at the net is one. Moving to the ball.
Right.
Moving to the ball for sure.
I think you have to be a little more. I don't want to say maybe this is the wrong term, but almost more a little mentally tough to play singles because it's at least with doubles you have a partner. Singles, it's all on you.
That can be. They're different games, though.
They are totally different games.
I mean, like here, I thought in the first singles one here, the Coon Rapids girl had the territorial advantage in that she was at the net. She had a lot of chances to make volleys to win the point. The Anoka girl, I think lobbed really well. She, when the Coon Rapids girl was up there, but it was a decent match. It went quite a while. A lot of other matches got done before that match got done, and so it was. Ken, what would you say when you look to put somebody in doubles? What was your
If they have a consistent serve, they can volley the ball, and they like being aggressive at the net, and also partnership.
Yeah.
I mean,
You got to have two people that reasonably can get along.
Work well together.
I would imagine
Work
that
well
would help.
together. If there's no animosities or something at school going on, you always want to keep
Sure.
something on that. It can happen sometimes, but
You don't want them dating the same boyfriend.
yeah,
Correct.
That would not be
Right.
good. That
or
would
two of your
not
doubles
be
guys
good.
dating want to date the same girl.
Yeah,
or,
yeah, not a
something
good
like
thing.
that, but see, this girl's backhand has come into play. Oh, she had a nice idea there, but I'm going to have to bring my chapter of broadcasting to a close.
Okay.
I've
Well,
gotta
thank you
head
for
out.
joining us.
Well, yes,
that was great.
absolutely. Ken Peterson.
Kenny, this was really good to see you.
Yeah,
It
thanks,
really
guys.
was.
Thanks for letting me
No,
grab a mic, and
yeah.
it was great to see this Hall of Famer
There you go.
again after so many years.
There you go.
Well, we were
especially his daughters. I've been to
There you go.
Katie and Amy both. And
we
I've never seen his
we
wife.
were very happy to have
Honored.
you. It definitely added quite a bit to the broadcast. So, thank you so much for being with us, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Well,
And-
thanks.
and I am
thanks
gonna-
for broadcasting tennis. I think
I
it's
am-
always good
Absolutely.
you guys do that.
I am going to go and drive by your pickleball complex over there,
You'll
Kenny.
probably see
It's-
some people playing this evening. Now.
Yeah, that will
Maybe
be.
somebody you know.
Hey, do you know that Doug is big time in pickleball in Florida?
I'm not surprised. He would be very good at that.
He's teaching, and he is doing really well, and it's a good game for him.
It is a good game. We'll get you into it too.
Well, 2 people told me in the same week that maybe with my court coverage now, with my bad foot, I have a serious foot issue, but outside of that, they said, you could probably pick up pickle. So I'm considering it. I have the rackets. Are they rackets or paddles?
They're paddles.
Okay.
I call them rackets, but it's
So are you telling us you're in a bit of a pickle making your decision?
I am in the middle of.
Hey-oh.
paddles. Okay, guys.
Okay, we'll see you.
so much.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you, Ken. Thanks for stopping.
Well, that was nice.
So I guess the another part of why I asked is a player's being a singles player or a doubles player, is that more of their decision, or is that more of a coach saying, you know what, I think this game is going to, because you talked about it, it's really two different games. Do you just help guide them, or ultimately it's their decision, or is it a matter of coach says, you're definitely more of a doubles player?
Okay. I'm going to talk just about one player. I'm going to talk about my baby daughter, who is 40. When she was a senior on the team, she was our first singles player. She really was. However, after playing the first match or two, I looked at our lineup and I said, if I put Sarah in first doubles, we're probably going to have 3 really good doubles teams. And we had a person who could move in and play 3rd or 4th singles. And so we moved her in there, and that was the case. We hardly lost a point in doubles because we had a power player at first doubles, and we had another really good player that we could play at second doubles, Megan Mulligan. And she used to coach here a little bit. And so that made our team really strong. So part of it is looking at your makeup of your kids, and you have to be in a situation where you're hoping that they're going to get along with each other.
Yeah.
That's for sure the case. So Anoka won that game really quick. Yep. I think it's 5-2.
5-2. It is 5-2.
Yep.
So typically the old adage, in my mind, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that typically your best player is your first singles player. Typically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a situation where it wasn't.
Oh, it's
Okay.
not. It's
4-3.
4-3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ooh. We've got us a ball game here.
We do.
We have us a ball game. Yeah, we have us
And it means that next service for Anoka could be huge.
Yeah.
The difference between obviously being 4-4 or being down 5-3.
Yep. Yep.
And it looks like, almost all the courts are clear. So,
Oh, there's something going on at the very end. I'm not.
yeah, and I got a report from the truck. We believe it's a 3-2 Coon Rapids score.
Oh, okay. That's
We've got this first doubles, and down there's another doubles match. I'm going to go with second doubles, since that would mean third doubles was at
Oh,
the
at the
end.
end.
Would make sense.
Okay.
Right. That's a big service for the Coon Rapids team. They
Yeah.
definitely want to make sure they win their service here and get that advantage to go up 5-3.
Yep.
Miss hit by Fedora on the return will help that cause.
This girl, the Coon Rapids girl is really has a nice service motion. She's looks athletic. She has a nice throwing motion.
Long limbs helps.
It is. That's a nice second serve.
Well, and second serve,
That's a good.
that's just a little.
Oh,
she pushed it
missed
wide. Second service is so important. We're going to try and talk about that earlier, but you can see some players whose second serve is much weaker than their
Right.
first. And how did you coach that when you knew a player had their second serve was much weaker and you didn't see it really improving, other than trying just to push the ball over and getting it in the court?
To not have to use your second serve.
that's very
And
good.
so what I mean by that doesn't. See, that's a nice.
That's a very nice service.
Oh my goodness. What I would have them do is take off something off their first serve and hit it in,
Okay.
rather than. That's a thing that can help you a lot.
Yeah, I think I know where you're getting at. I mean, Howie, as far as you see some players whose second serve, I mean, the whole motion is different.
Yeah, they're just basically trying to get it, willing it over.
It's just a great play at the net there by Emma Newton. Just, more of a just get it over and then let's play, rather than I'm going to make you work for something still. It's not quite as hard as my first, but
Don't give them a free one there.
Yeah, I mean, that's again so important about her serve. Her second serve typically is pretty good for a second serve.
Nice serve. Come on. Ooh, nice return.
perfect placement. And that was Ella Larson playing from the backcourt.
We're tied at 4.
We are.
It's a huge break of service. Coon Rapids had the 6-3 win in the opening set. And if the information from the truck is correct, a Coon Rapids victory at either of the last two positions would mean a victory,
Yep.
for the team.
So in a situation like this where you win the first set and you're up, I think they're up 4-2 at the time, and then you see them, you lose a couple games. What do you say to your players in terms of just trying to calm their nerves a little bit? And so you have this, you have the opportunity to win this match.
Well, you you really don't want to do anything. You have, our kids basically were supposed to have a game plan. So our game plan would be, are you getting the serves into the right place? And like Coon Rapids has done a pretty good job of lobbing over the girl who's so aggressive,
Like there.
Yep. And so they've done a really good job lobbing over her head. And so, you would just say, come, continue to do these things, And sometimes I would say, okay, if you get a second serve, you're probably going to be able to do something that you want. And so make them see, there you go. That's smart. You do that. Okay, now hit it. Oh,
just a little bit too much. I understand what you wanted to do because you want to put that point away, but you have to be smart about it.
She just bounced it on the court.
Right.
She bounced it. She's strong enough that if that one bounced on the court, she wins the point. You can't imagine how many times we have seen matches lost by somebody having a shot like that and not see that be game point if she mocks that one in. Okay, so her job, as she's got the ad. She's got the ad. If you don't have the ad, when you're serving, you got to make the other team hit the point. So let's see if she makes the other team hit the point or hit the ball. She did. That's okay.
Again,
didn't make him hit the ball.
And the angle of her racket head too was she was never going to hit that one in the way she approached it.
And she had the territorial position. She was in great position there. Now you might, if you were the Anoka person, since they're lobbing over this person's head all the time, you might have her move back a step. There you go.
Good play at the net that time by Newton.
Look at how close she was to the net.
Yep.
Look how close she was.
She did a really, again, nice job being aggressive, and then she's got the angle by being that close to the net.
Okay, add again. Can you make her hit it again? She did. No, she didn't. Although, you know, that girl, the Anoka girl, had to move a long way to hit that ball. She did. That was a
She did.
That was a two-step. It wasn't that bad a shot.
Again, she was being aggressive.
Yep.
Costly double fault.
Yeah,
Is
Fedora's
that-
had a
see,
couple
okay,
of them in this
so
game.
so that's where you asked the question earlier. What do you do if you're having trouble with your second
Yep.
serve? Take something off and hit your first serve in. That's a nice shot.
Just a little out.
Why does she go to the alley though? We got something done down there? Don't know.
Oh. Your point of saying why did she go to the alley? Obviously, you've got so much more court to work with if you stay inside it.
If you hit the tee,
Yeah.
If you miss the tee by 17 feet,
Yep.
ball's still in.
Yep. I agree.
Miss the alley by 6 inches,
It's out.
you lose the point.
Another double fault.
Yeah, that's 3 or 4 in the game for Fedor.
Come on now. Come on. Make the shot. Make the shot. Too long, I think.
Yep.
Long game. Long game.
And really, her double faults have come from this side of the court.
You're correct. Oh boy. Oh, that's a nice play she made. She had to go behind her partner.
That one's out.
She had to go nice lob. If the Anoka girl would have made a nice lob, I would have said nice lob to her.
And you did earlier.
I did.
You did
I
compliment the Anoka player. So I know you're a little bit of a homer, like we are.
But I really am more. I really like good tennis. How's
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
If you're-
as do I.
If you play the point well. Oh boy,
That was beautiful.
I think that was in.
Yeah, that was
it?
in.
There you go.
Wow.
And that was so they take a 5-4
5-4
lead with service.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a great shot.
Yeah. Was
So-
highlights Hennon with the
so
angle on that
so
one.
here's the deal. On that one right there, if you say to the person, "Why didn't you just go? Oh, great shot!
Yeah.
You could have been conservative. Why didn't you go great shot?
Yeah.
You know, that's great. Shot. That's like the three-pointer. You know, why did you shoot? Good shot.
Yeah. Why you do? Oh, great! It's in.
Steph Curry said yesterday. Do you know what he said?
I didn't hear.
Did you hear?
No.
He's going to play on the Olympic team.
Oh, very nice.
I think it's fun to watch the U.S. Olympic men's basketball team because you bring a lot of stars together, and for some whatever it is about that uniform, they all play together when they're in that uniform, and it's not as much about themselves, even as in my opinion it seems they play when they're with the teams that are paying them millions of dollars. But the beautiful thing to me is that for Olympic basketball, the best players in the world are able to play in the Olympics. For hockey, they aren't allowing that to happen anymore because the NHL owners won't take a couple
be
weeks
out.
off
Nope.
for the
Oh,
Olympics.
that's a really good play.
Yeah, that was a good return. It was so deep, and she had to run for it.
Oh man. Nice shot.
That was a good point, really, on both sides, and you can
Yep,
see
it
the
was.
Cardinal strategy is definitely lob it
Lob it,
over
yep.
Larson because she's dangerous at the net. This one just left a little too short in a place where she could get the finish, and she does.
Who won that match down there? Good. That's a homer reply.
Well, that's okay. I'm right
So
there
we
with you.
believe Coon Rapids has clinched 4-2 and now trying to make it 5-2 with a win here.
Come on.
Just long.
That's a very hard shot to hit that hard in that flat and have it come in. That's a nice play she made.
Out.
That was a nice play, getting your racket on the ball. Kenny was really, really a good tennis player. You need to know that.
Yep.
He really was. And so it's not surprising that he is really good in pickleball. Not surprising at all.
And that first service
Yeah,
was long.
I was pretty sure it was wide, but I believe we're at 30-30.
No, 15-30.
Is it 15-30?
That's a tough shot. That's a tough shot. That's a tough shot. In my next life, I think I would really like to be a cheerleader.
You would?
Don't you think?
Yeah,
good.
well, hey.
I mean,
absolutely.
hey, because I can cheer for anybody who does good.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. Now I think it's 30-30.
Yeah. 30 all.
Good serve. Oh, ooh, that one hurt.
That one did hurt because that was point. That was a
She
point.
had it.
But, yeah. Another good serve.
And again, just not
Good
enough on
win
that.
by Larson.
Larson able to be
Jeez.
aggressive.
That was good. Good shot.
So we're tied at 5.
Oh, man.
Nerve-wracking.
It is. It's still, you know, when you watch something you like, okay, hey, here, both teams are competing well.
They are. Absolutely.
Both teams are competing well.
No one wants to lose.
And so if you... She could have moved in a little on that, but it's so easy sitting. If you guys haven't missed a shot sitting here, have you yet?
No, not
Nope.
one.
No, not
Nope.
one.
I almost did.
Okay, there you go.
Good cross-court shot by
Yeah.
Larson. So if they split these next 2 games, then they go to tiebreak, best first to 10, win by 2.
If the doubles match over there decided it for Coon Rapids, yes, okay. But if the match is still in doubt, they might have to play a third set. I do not know. I do not know. She's had a couple really nice backhand returns of serve. I think this is 30 all.
I think you're right.
Is there no football or anything tonight over here tonight?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Okay, I know tomorrow night.
Yeah, Cardinals football team, we were talking a little bit earlier, but really great opportunity these next couple of weeks.
Yep.
Against Irondale tomorrow, and then homecoming against Park Center.
Nice to have a couple home games back to back.
And if they can keep their win streak going,
Then they have a tough one after that, but you go 1 week at a time.
correct. But, it's hard not to notice that they have 2 winless
was a big
teams in the
shot.
conference.
Yep.
Yeah. Are we still
And
in
that's
the
a
same
big
conference? What are we in?
No,
now?
so
No.
football now is Suburban Blue
Okay.
because the Cardinals dropped to 5A
Okay.
2 seasons ago.
Okay.
So this is their 3rd season at the 5A level.
Okay.
The Suburban Blue, the first year was Coon Rapids, Forest Lake, Hopkins, and Irondale. And this year they added Spring Lake Park, Park Center, and Armstrong.
Correct.
Okay.
So it's now 7 teams. And they've got a good chance this year with the start they've had. If they can, Irondale's going to be a test. Irondale's coming off a win this week.
Yep.
That'll be a test, and then as long as they do their work and continue to stay strong, I think Park Center is a very winnable game based on their early season results. And if they're able to win both of those and go in to Armstrong with a 4-game win streak, and Armstrong to this point undefeated on the season. But their one non-conference game that they've played was not the same caliber as the St. Thomas Academy team
Correct.
that the Cardinals faced. So,
Well, the Cards serving here with the opportunity to win this match, up 6-5.
And it's 5-all right now. She double faulted to start. Nice serve.
Beautiful serve.
Nice serve.
they said it was
They
wide.
said it was a let, or did they say it was a let?
That was good communication
Yep.
by the Coon Rapids team.
Had them switch. Yep.
Well, they said that was one either of them probably could have gotten to. Nice serve.
Great serve.
That was a
We
home.
haven't seen a lot of aces
No.
in either match.
Nope.
No.
That one right down the stripe.
Don't
So now match point.
hit it in. That's a good second serve.
Oh, we talked about it
Ooh.
earlier. Goldman's position, her
She missed it.
Yeah.
yeah, that one went wide for Larson at the net, and that'll be match point for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
That means we don't have a tiebreaker or a
Nope.
third set.
Nope. And it was really a fun second set here.
It
They
was
they
good.
won the first one fairly
Right.
handily, but
And
this-
jumped out to a 3-0 lead
Yeah,
in the
and
second.
here, and so give credit to that doubles team from Anoka to come back.
And yeah, I think everything worked out very well for us as the CTN crew. Is a great pleasure to have you with us today, Coach Pivic.
Yes.
Congratulations again on being elected to the Coon Rapids High School Hall of Fame, and certainly enjoy all of the celebration that is to come tomorrow.
It's been, I'll just say one thing. It has been the process for me has been more than I can describe. I've had so many tears of joy and so many blessings talking to people. And this will just top off the whole thing, Coon Rapids beating Anoka.
Yeah, exactly. And then tomorrow night you've got the ceremony, and you're going to be here at the stadium for during the football game, right before the football game, and hopefully you stay for the game if you can.
If it's not raining, I'm going to be here for sure. How's that?
Hopefully
Perfect.
another.
We'll hold you to it.
There you go.
Hopefully
There you go.
another
Okay.
Coon Rapids victory. But that's going to wrap things up for us for this edition of CTN Sports. Here's a look at what we have coming up for you. We've got that Irondale football game tomorrow night, live at 7 o'clock. Girls and boys soccer on Monday. Girls at 5, boys at 7. And that, again, is going to wrap things up from the Bob Pivic courts. We want to again thank Coach Bob Pivic for joining us for this telecast. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying good night.